I doubt we're going to stop covering Jim, but we might make that choice later to stop. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Smudcast number 628, Hogwarts, A Legacy of Hate. Oh, dear, what a great title to describe what he may or what she may be talking about in this video. I don't know yet. We're going to find out. I have not played Hogwarts Legacy. I've seen other people play it. It looks like an awesome game, and I'm not even into Harry Potter. I think I saw one film. Haven't read any of the books. That's about it. That's about all I know. So if people like it, good for them. If people don't like it, good for them. I don't care. Enjoy your game. Hate the game. Do whatever you want. This is not here to... It's not going to change my mind either way. But I will eventually play it when it comes down in price just because I like to play games. So that's about it. How about you guys? Have you touched the game yet, or are you going to eventually play it, or what?
I'm planning on picking it up at one point.
Okay, cool.
I was never into Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's not my
everyone. Some others were. It was big in Germany as well, but I just found it stupid.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
I was reading Wheel of Time at the time, and then there's this sudden hype of a wizard story where the magic seemed to make no sense. I was reading a story with a hard magic system that made sense and appealed to my autism.
Was that the Sanderson books, or was that with the originals?
You broke me.
You don't know. It's okay. You don't know.
Robert. So, Wheel of Time is Robert Jordan. Brandon Sanderson only wrote the last 3 books.
Okay, so the first few. Okay, I got you.
I read all of them.
All right, no problem. Just making sure we know exactly where we are, because Sanderson, I think, would probably change things a bit. But
he just finished the story.
Yeah, but with Harry Potter, I do know they have a gigantic school with all these teachers and all these spells and all this Latin and all these classifications. So it's an entire world based around this sort of culture of magic, which may not be a hard magic system. I don't know, but it
is extremely loose magic system.
Yeah, it's detailed enough that the exposition should make enough sense that there are some rules. You just don't know exactly what they are. So,
which is strange if you are in a school setting. Imagine Harry Potter having been invented by Japanese.
Oh yeah, they'd have numbers.
We would know the quantum physics level formulas of why what work and not.
Yeah, it'd be funny. But
the most important one would probably be, okay, where does the magic come from? What are you drawing from?
Yeah, what's the source of the power? What is mana? How does it work? That sort of thing. Yeah. So, but that's whatever. If she's not into doing hardcore writing with sci-fi or fantasy, good for her. I don't care.
Yeah, these are children's books, and they're very financially successful children's books.
Yeah,
I myself only liked one story of hers, and that was The Prisoner of Azkaban, just because the idea of the Dementors was really cool.
Yeah.
And the whole world building part of, there's a massive prison where the bad people go if you use the forbidden spells. That's a really neat idea. The whole idea of there are spells that are up over the line, so to say. That's a really neat concept.
So consequences for one's actions is fine, and I think that's a great idea for whatever fictional world you're creating. And for young adults, you don't necessarily need every detail hammered out as much as we like that in our fantasy, but it appeals to the general populace. Good for them. And I'm glad there's a video game that shows that rich world building that we don't get in a lot of books these days, unless you actually have someone who, like Sanderson, who actually fleshes it all out to create a world that you would enjoy reading. So anyway, here's Gingaman, and Gingaman is just not Gingaman, Giga Chad. My apologies, Giga Chad. Didn't read the rest of that sentence there. Thanks for the donation. A reminder that the 13th Amendment, does not apply to house elves. I would rather die than see my child go to school with a knife ear American. On a serious note, I'm right there with you, Wisp. I'm a Yank, and growing up HP seemed pretty faggy LOTR for me.
It did add that a friend of my mother's thought I looked like Harry Potter. Added to the resentment.
Hey,
she was obsessed. She was obsessed with that book.
We just
leave me alone. I get enough bullies. Fuck off.
We just had Ken pop on. How's it going, Ken? What's up? What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Okay, I didn't know you were coming on.
Yeah, I guess not, huh?
I was like, whoa, what Ken's
No, I'm here.
All right. Okay, cool. So, does anyone know anything about? Well, Ken, do you know anything about the game?
About the game, yes. About like Harry Potter itself, not so much.
Okay, fair enough. That's because we're all sort of like, yeah, we want to get into the game, but not today, or wait till it comes down in price, or get a better computer, or whatever the case may be. So, there's
reasons. You guys
reasons.
ever have the games on PlayStation?
There was one on PlayStation?
There were several.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the only one I ever played for extended periods of time was the Prisoner of Azkaban one, where they had what's it called, like PvP with the NPCs, where you put what's it called, pumpkin heads on each other's heads.
Really?
Yep. Like you walk around basically the entire castle. It's really neat. And so the idea of having the entire thing rendered out so you could go into all the corners and crevices of the place does appeal to, I'd say, a lot of people, even if they were only partially interested in the world, such as most of us here.
Interesting. So that's what happens with the pumpkin head. You beat a guy that has a pumpkin on his head for the rest of the game?
Oh, the longer he has the pumpkin head on, the more points he loses. And you gain points for every time you put a pumpkin head on someone else.
Oh.
And so the team that has the most or least time as pumpkin heads wins the match.
Okay, interesting. I seem to remember this in some of the, was it JRPGs or what game was that where I know Tactics Ogre had a pumpkinhead villain or a pumpkinheaded creature, but I don't think that was part of any mechanic though. Trying to remember. There might even be a pumpkinhead game. I don't even know. But okay. I think we're ready to go. Oh, we got a super chat from Melvin. Thank you, Melvin, for the 5. I just got done watching Null's stream. Oh, I don't know who Null is, but thank you. You guys are in for something special. Oh, geez. If this is as bad as I think it's going to be, we're just going to cut it off short because I don't think it's worth it. Honestly.
Has anyone seen this video?
No.
I haven't seen it, actually.
No.
I've seen the last video I watched of Jim was like 2013.
Wow. But, honestly, if it's just him rambling on about J.K. Rowling, I'm just going to cut it. I'm tired of listening to all these weirdos, wherever they are online, go off about J.K. Rowling, and then no one. Every time I ask, what did she say? What did she do? Show me some evidence that is so offensive that she said or did that she has all this ire pointed at her, because I can't find it.
She believes that biological sex exists.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all she did.
That is
amazing.
Literally all.
I don't know. It seems like the dumbest thing to talk about.
Somehow that is so offensive to the self-proclaimed trans activists who completely ignore the fact that the entire problem of our super rare and weird and annoying condition is that we're one sex but not the other.
Well,
I mean, the fact that they're upset by these comments is actually the biggest cell phone they could potentially
I don't get it. They constantly rag on about this. I'm like, what is the problem? They said something 10 years ago, great, or whatever. Okay. She's a feminist. Whoop-de-doo. Did she do anything? Did she hurt anyone? Did she preventing people from, like, what is... She
hurt the insane people who think they're trans but are not, who think the escapism or fetishism and communist blank slate bullshit is somehow being trans, when that's like oh, you deliberately stubbed your toe and now you claim that you can't use your legs. It's
Well,
Münchhausen syndrome
that is
all over.
that is a
It's
thing.
just like, it's the most offensive thing that has ever happened to us are trans activists who claim they're trans when they're not. They are against proper diagnostic tools because they say that would erase trans identity.
Okay.
Because that's the point. Because it's not a fucking identity. It's not a costume to put on, and that you just choose, and nobody's allowed to question it. Like you're playing pretend in kindergarten.
Well, I don't know about what she is or isn't doing, J.K. Rowling, but we have real problems in the world. I know we still have that weird teacher here in, I think it's Burlington or Hamilton. There's a cities next to Toronto. The character, what's her name? I can't remember her name, but she's got these gigantic.
Oh god, that shit. That's a
the
troll.
one with the huge tits.
Yeah, she's still in the news.
That's a troll.
Yeah,
but Smut, that guy is a troll that's known, and outside of school hours, he's walking around normally.
Perhaps, I don't know the story, but it's still going on.
He's just
Parents are involved.
But he's just yes, good. That's what that guy wants, because he's pushing it so far deliberately. So he's basically a martyr. He's pushing the stuff so far deliberately so that parents do get involved and make this shit stop.
If it does change the dress code rules, that'd be great. But it looks like he's just sort of silently doing it, and I don't know if he's the cause or he's helping it. I don't know. Like it's
a complicated.
It is, yeah.
Incident.
But that to me is like, okay, once parents get involved, you better watch out. But I have not seen any parents involved with whatever nonsense people are arguing about with J.K. Rowling. So anyway,
yeah, because she's right. That's the horrible thing.
Well,
and the horrible activists are driving her further and further into extremism.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she certainly wasn't a TERF before. Now she's a proud TERF.
I don't know.
She
The thing is, like,
openly
despite
happy to
her,
call herself that now.
like, despite her being basically just as woke as they are, the fact that she has like those previous claims of sexual assault and all that, contributes to her opinion on this, because she's like, wait a minute. So there can be men that can just say that they're women, so they can go to all these spaces that are meant just for women. Like that's where her argument comes from.
Yeah,
because she was assaulted, so now she's like she recognizes this can be used to assault people again or further.
Assaulted, not just assaulted. She was in an abusive relationship with a narcissist, and she recognized the pattern that the SJWs are using the same manipulative, extortionist abuse patterns that abusive relationships do. She actually saw through it and called it out.
All right.
That is, for someone of her caliber to do that, I tip my hat.
Okay.
Maybe there's some hope for her.
Okay.
We spent almost 15 minutes and we haven't touched the video yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna get going right now. Here's one donation from actual Gingaman. Hey, Gingaman. I can confirm that every Harry Potter movie got at least 2 or 3 game adaptations apiece, but the overall quality across all of them has some distinct highs and lows. Also, you just made my day confusing GigaChad for me. Yeah, I didn't read that. I just saw the pop-up.
Everybody wants to be GigaChad.
Just work out 4 hours a day. Yeah, okay.
Can you feel my heart?
All right, so let's get going. 27 minutes. There's no way in hell we're going for 27 minutes, but...
Wait. I'd be amazed if we get through 5.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Let's go.
Cover your ears.
It starts. Oh my god.
Nah, I don't.
Oh god.
Good lord. Okay, you know what? I don't care what they look like. Lose the weight. Just lose the weight. I don't care. Don't drink or eat when you're on cam. Don't think this looks attractive. This looks like you're a clown. You're a fat clown. That's what you are.
I endorse this statement.
Me too.
You know what? Don't even appear on cam. Eat whatever you want, but don't let me see it.
Now, I'm not a fan of calling out people's appearances on YouTube videos. We can't help how we look. However, I get the same feeling when I look at Jim Sterling as I did when they showcased Diva from Overwatch. You're a fake ass bitch.
This is not helping anyone.
The thing is, like, there's a difference between like insulting someone for no reason, and then is Jim who purposely looks like this and purposely appears on cam. Like Smut said, he doesn't have to do this.
Yeah,
but he's doing it anyways.
I mean, look at this. Jim wants to be called an old fat man in a wig and a dress.
I'm looking at
this is not trans. This isn't passing. This is drag.
Is he trying to dress as Moxie from Borderlands?
I think so. Like I don't know. The thing is, he has like a different costume in every video now.
Okay, but all I'm doing is I'm looking away from the video and just closing my eyes and listening because this is so stupid. Like if you dressed up like this in any formal setting, you get laughed at. You're like, what happened here? Is this? What are you trying?
Now you know why you see no sane trans people, no sane gay people at rainbow parades, because we have the same reaction as you, Smart.
Because it's just disgusting.
I get it.
And those places are just this times 1,000.
We have giant pride parades in Toronto, and I get it. If you want to go out there, have a good time, prance around, I don't care. Go for it. Have fun. You're allowed to do that one day of the year. But that's one thing. There's the weird, gross parts of that. We
already had that for centuries. It was called Carnival.
Sure, I agree. There's all kinds of festivals like that.
You didn't get free condoms at carnivals.
Well, it's not that. There's other things attached with which are kind of seedy and I don't like. But if you want to dress up during Halloween and go crazy, I mean, that's great. I think that's fun.
Oh, Lale, do you know the history of Carnival in here in Europe, in Germany?
Not in Germany specifically, no.
It was the off days from the rules of the church. So the days where you could commit sin but not have to worry about it. So that you can let off your steam. And it seems the pride parades have just become the extreme version of that.
Anyway, let's continue. I already don't like what he's saying. Harry Potter is stupid. It's for kids. Harry Potter is not stupid. It is extremely well thought out book series.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
To an extent, yeah.
For kids stuff, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, let's keep going.
It's stupid. Harry Potter is.
Jim, you look stupid. Okay, if you're calling a well thought out, was it 9 books, 10 books, so many books? I don't know. If you're thinking that this series is stupid and for kids and people who read it are stupid, look in the mirror.
Is he raising his voice, or is it just me? Like, is he trying to sound more feminine?
It's just a fat voice gone up high.
Oh boy.
The thing with fat people is that sometimes you can't even tell their sex until they speak, and then it's still a voice that you can't place. So that's you could say that's the one thing they have. Maybe if they want to be trans.
There is a probability that out of all these books, out of all these publishers, all these editors went, you know what, these books are dumb. I can't believe I'm editing this thing. But you know what? They got published and people are reading them. And I would rather they read those books and get some vocabulary and get some stories in their heads than whatever the hell Jim is saying. So I would say thank you, J.K. Rowling, for making dumb books for kids who can now read or read better.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I should. Should we take? I don't think it's right that we just immediately dismiss Proxy Man Moxie over here just because he doesn't like the 7 long continuous children's book story series. Like, he might have some insight that we are not aware of.
There's a probability of that.
See, I guess.
There's a chance of that being true. You're right. I think
Smut said something very important here, because these books were so beloved, they made a generation of children actively read, take up books, big books, mind you, and read. And that was so much the case that in Tunisia, when they changed the education system up to a more sensible thing, they put up incentives for the children to not just get good grades, but when they actually did, there were things like, oh, you can take one item from the treasure box, and that's yours. So like a win. You got an A, and you can take an item. And the kids went for the Harry Potter books. They skipped the toys. They went for the books to read as a reward for their good grades in school. That is how good these books were for children, regardless of what you think of the content.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are some librarians or writers or editors that go, oh, more Harry Potter nonsense, the same way a music teacher might look at like Andrew Lloyd Webber's book music. It's like, oh, another my student's going to play Phantom of the Opera whatever song again for recital because it's boring, it's not very good, it's very simple. But I'd rather they play the piano or play the guitar, whatever the instrument they're playing, and get into and be passionate and go, oh, I can't wait to play Les Miserables, or I can't wait to play this. It's like, it's for kids. Good. Let them appreciate tragedy on a level that's not like an R-rated frickin' Puccini where everyone dies. So, give them something to ease into the stage production or music world or fantasy world. Good for them. They're reading, they're playing, they're learning. Good. But they're stupid. It's so stupid.
Honestly, if the Harry Potter books, they will probably have inspired one or two kids that went into becoming writers for then reading other things and then doing that, or getting into the games and then wanting to make video games, or just get into IT in general. But staying on the writers thing, that's the exact thing that happened with Brandon Sanderson, because he read Wheel of Time as a kid. And when he was older, he got a call after Robert Jordan sadly passed away, whether he wanted to continue the series, finish it, because Jordan's wife thought him a good author, and it was Wheel of Time that made him pick up writing. So can just be the same thing here.
Yeah, and if I'm a writer, like we have Dunn, who's a fantasy author, and he is looking to expand his base or get into the young adult fiction, and he's doing sci-fi as well. He does all kinds of stuff. I'd be reading, what's the secret that J.K. Rowling's got? Maybe it's just a flash in the pan. Maybe it was popular at the right time. Or maybe there's something genuinely interesting there that kids like. I don't know. So
I think it was the mix of a British fantasy, magic, which is very, very rich thanks to the Celtic background of the area, and mix that with, we're going to magic school, that's awesome. And there you go.
It could be that simple.
Very simple combination that has a, just from the themes picked, you automatically get a very, very rich and deep setting. You just need to explore it. It writes itself.
Okay, well, I think we're all impressed that J.K. Rowling is a thing and her books are great, or people like their books at least, and I want just to understand that, because when Jim says it's bad or stupid, it's like, no, we're not.
I want to see how long he stared into the abyss to see if he brought anything back that we might be, I don't know, surprised by, shocked by, enlightened by even.
I hope we're missing something, yeah. Because he's not off to a good start. But anyway, let's continue.
Time someone said nobody is bad. I'm a trendsetter. No, but it is stupid though.
Why are you making really bad advertisement for Monster? Like, who wants to hear you have this weird can sound that we just got?
Well, he is a monster, so let's just go with that.
What? Yes, that is true. But look, maybe you would be less fat if you wouldn't drink the zero sugar versions, because that shit is making you fat.
I don't know if I should even mention it, but at least we now know that was a bad joke. Like, he's like, aha, nobody before has said that it's bad, so aha, I'm the first.
Yeah. All right.
But at least he's making a bad joke.
Let's
I
keep
guess.
going. I don't want to drag this out. Here's Mike Hawk Hertz. Okay, Mike Hawk Hertz. How's it going? If Harold Trotter would inspire me to do anything, it's to write a story with an actual interesting magic system. Okay, fair enough. And maybe write a protagonist that isn't such a wet rag with a group of friends that I don't want to skin alive. Knife ear, get back of the bus. Oh my God. Okay, again, fantasy, not everyone likes. And then when you do like fantasy, it's a very specific style. I get it. Every subgenre is like that.
Hey,
Look,
let's
if Harry...
let's not jump the gun too early. He might be playing a character. You never know. He might be playing a character right now. And like 30 seconds, he's gonna go into the gym that's actually the wise man that has seen everything that we've done incorrectly, that we didn't realize. And actually, Harry Potter is awful. Gotta give the devil his due.
There is the chance of that, yes. Okay, let's keep going.
Last thing on that part. I am happy for any kid that got into reading because of Harry Potter and then went on, oh, what other fantasy is there? Oh, Lord of the Rings. Amazing. Because that is certainly a thing that will have happened.
All right, let's go.
Stupid. Supposed, right? We've got phones. They use owls. Chuds.
Yeah.
Right? If fucking Hagar the Horrible, right, bicycled
Also
into
awesome.
my fucking house and went, oh, you're a wizard, Stephanie, I'd probably be excited at first. I'd be all, oh, that's brilliant, Hagar the Horrible. How do we go? Am I going to go in a car? What? No! We don't ride cars in the wizarding world. We fly about on flippity-doos. What's a flippity-doo? Well, first of all, you gotta get yourself an 8-legged one. We're not gonna get on.
This is stupid.
Right, I insist on bringing my 3DS. Hagar, have you got wall chargers? What's wall chargers? Oh dear. Okay then, so what do you do for entertainment? Oh, it's brilliant. We eat sweets that make you do elephant noises. Fucking what?
All right, I'm getting tired of this.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
waiting for the
stupid.
points.
Gonna skip ahead a bit.
Please do. If it... Like, his skits were bad back when I actually watched them. This is...
Like, it's not even funny.
Hey!
It's just
Hey,
annoying.
look in the chat. W.R. Winter says, I'm a Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings kid myself.
Aww.
Cheers to you, man. Cheers to you.
Good stuff. All right, we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Hopefully the weird analogy story is gone.
I like that Tyler's reaction is immediately, flying's cool. What's wrong with you?
Is Olivia Newton care that the one shop is Olivia Newton-John's? I don't give a fuck.
Is this still the
I
skit?
didn't even want to do
Is
this
Jim
episode.
drunk?
I've known it's coming for a year, but I don't want
Jim,
to
there is
talk
no
about
alcohol in
fucking
the monster.
Hogwarts.
Oh,
That-
2 minutes and 52 seconds in, and he says, I didn't want to make this video.
Yeah, here
But
we
you
go.
did. Why did
I'm
you?
waiting for the points.
Yeah.
With the Harry Potter series, I made my... And we've
No, we
got to
don't.
talk about it. We're about to see. There's going to be a lot of transphobic rhetoric that I have to...
Jim, you still use your fucking name for your show because you know it's your brand, and if you change it, even less people will give a shit about you. You don't get to talk about trans shit. You are the reason, or a representation of the reason as to why people think we're freaks and we're insane and we're just attention whores and fetishists, because that's what you are. You are not trans. You're just a fake ass narcissist who needs attention.
Didn't we call them transgenders back in, like, what was it, 2019?
Oh, we still call them that. It's just that, look, to each one of us, there's 1,000 of these creeps. And each time we speak up, the same thing happens to us that happens to J.K. Rowling. We get a target painted on us and swept under the rug. But, well, who's gonna defend us? We don't have the big money. We don't have the big fame. So we just get shut up.
All right.
You know how allyship really works.
And that is the
Jesus.
exact thing I'm talking about.
What happened?
This guy is disgusting. you were looking
Okay,
away.
Touched his fake titty.
Okay, Smudge.
Oh dear.
He took a sip of the monster, grabbed his titty, and then put it the same hand on his hip.
Just vulgar, disgusting. I'm on at a lack of words, but I'm also very tired.
Well, I'm not watching the screen, so I don't care. But
No, so
Anyway.
The rest of us
that
do.
is understandable.
All
That is
right.
understandable. Jim, after my rant, Jim just proved my fucking point.
all right. Let's keep going. Here's Mike Huntertz.
J.K. Rowling is a tramp.
Here's Mike Huntertz one more time. You're a man, Stephanie, or should I say Jim, is what Hagar the Talking Hat would say in this dumb joke. Jim Sterling really is Chris Chan at this point. Side note, Stephen King once said, Miss Rowling seems to have never met an adverb she didn't like. Okay. That's fine. Nothing wrong with using
Yeah, but King is also stupid, so.
Yeah, King is a weirdo, but there's nothing wrong with describing or using an adverb or adjective before using a modifier. It depends how many.
Remember when he banned Trump from seeing It? That was funny.
What?
Yeah, he said he banned him from watching the It movie.
Okay.
That was something that happened. It's very
Okay.
funny. It's like,
I'm
I'm
sure
gonna
he has
not
that
allow the
gold power.
president to watch a movie. It's like, okay, cool thing, Stephen.
Thanks, Steven.
Go to bed.
All right.
Delusions of grandeur.
That's...
Or whatever, the megalomania? Well, I don't know what some of these terms. One of these terms. Tyler Preston in the chat said something very disturbing. Sterling said that he took hormones to own CD Projekt Red.
What?
Oh my.
That what does that even mean?
Okay,
Wait,
so CD
what did they
Projekt
do?
CG Project Red had an advertisement in the preview for the game that included a woman with a dick and said that it was basically an advertisement saying that you can get all the parts that you need.
Oh, I
And
remember about the Cyberpunk game.
Yeah.
And people made a big stink about how they have erased trans identity in a universe where you can just get the right bits if you want that. I mean,
But that's what isn't that what they
That's
want?
literally what would happen, though.
But
Like
isn't that what
this
these
is the
people
thing
want? This is
that always annoys me, especially in settings like these. Trans identity wouldn't be a thing anymore because you can literally just become the thing that you want to be.
Yeah, but
It wouldn't exist.
that is the thing. That is the thing. This is why it's about why they call it trans identity. They want it to be this special thing that stands out. But in
want it to get
Cyberpunk, it would
fixed.
still all be it would still be some sort of trans thing because you have the sexes mixed up. But
Transhumans.
but yeah, in a way. But there's also that is such a stupidly misused term. But what that I've lost track. What that shows is that for these people, it's not about they're only trans because they want to stand out as unique. But in the cyberpunk world, well, that's just normal. And that's what they can't stand. That's what Jim can't stand. He can't stand to be seen as normal. But Jim, you don't need to worry about that. You are not normal. You're fat and you're insane. That's already two things that are not normal.
What's hilarious about the Cyberpunk situation is that I think it's the final boss is like Atom Smasher, a guy that's just a head and the rest is a metal body, including a cock, because he felt like it. Like he's just a psychopath. That's the whole point. Is that this universe allows people that are completely off their sock, so to say.
The thing with the game is that they left out even like weirder stuff like this, because like there's like furries and stuff too, like actual like people that try to look like animals.
Yeah,
that exists in the universe, but they didn't even include it in the game. There's way weirder stuff.
Exactly. Like Cyberpunk is a place for the
Mhm.
idea or the concept of like a post-apocalypse culture world where people are just clinging on to any form of identity, as shallow as it might be.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. When everybody is special, no one is, and that's why these people can't stand that, because they're narcissists who, needing to be special this much, I guess we're entering histrionic realms. But that's why all this is Munchausen syndrome. They need something they can claim that they're not in order to feel better about themselves, that they stand out, that they get attention, that they get privileges, whatever it is, get the spotlight. But if everybody can get that, or will do rather, it's not that, because the rules they made is everybody can claim to be trans now, regardless of whether even you have the medical condition or not. That's how they redefined the whole thing, and how they dictate the discourse, if you will. So unopposed that we now have gender clinics that castrate children in barely starting puberty.
Okay, I think it's time that we continue moving on.
Yes, I'm just going about, because Jim should not talk about trans shit. Jim should be the one to be. If we censor people, Jim should be the one censored for misinformation, because he's just talking esoteric anti-science bullshit.
Agree. Chat is asking if you like Edge Runner, Smut.
Sorry, if I like what?
The Edge Runners anime from Cyberpunk game.
I still haven't watched it, but I've heard good things. So I will eventually, which is weird. I think people told me to watch it because it was very good. I never got around to it, but I've been watching anime constantly, so I just haven't gotten around to it.
All right, that's something I can watch now that I'm done with the last thing I watched.
You still need to watch Mushoku Tensei, Whisp.
All right, there's that too. There's that too. Thank you, because I keep forgetting what I want to watch next, and then I just sit there and what was it?
You're welcome.
I finally watched the first season of The Orville, so there's that.
Okay, fair enough. Let's keep going.
Actual stuff.
Rowling is phobe. This is a fact.
No, it's
All right,
not.
we're done. We're done. Good night, everyone. We are done. We don't need to go any further. This is so obnoxious. Like, just to say that the fact. How is it, like, let's say she said something really, like, I dislike transsexual people.
No, she didn't. She's even in... Look, the biggest joke is J.K. Rowling even has compassion for us with the real condition. So she's not even a real TERF.
Even said this.
She understands the medical condition and has compassion for our plights, our problems, but she, as most of us, because since we have the condition, we kind of know what the fuck is going on. She is of the opinion, because it's just an opinion now and not a scientific fact anymore, that there are two biological sexes in the human species, not more and not less. And genetic anomalies do not make new sexes. They're genetic anomalies, and some of them come with very bad detriments that need medical attention. That's all. And assholes like Jim call that transphobic, which makes no sense if your opinion is based in reality and science. However, if your opinion is based in communist blank slate theory esoteric garbage, well then of course it is whatever bad word you call it, because, well, it's against the magical narrative. That's all this is. And people like Jim, since they outnumber us, got to define what's the right thing and what's the wrong thing. And what they define as the right thing is the fantastic anti-science bullshit. And they defined the correct thing, meaning the earth is round, as wrong.
Well, let's just say she doesn't like the transphobics, or sorry, she doesn't like the trans people. How does that make her afraid of them? She's always been outspoken. She's always been upfront with her opinions. And she doesn't shy away.
Well, if you put her statements together, what she has a problem with are the predatory fakers, like Jim.
Well, consider that she is, just looking it up, she gave money to a charity to found a women's only rape help center.
Good.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Perfect. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about like giving money to charity to help people that have been traumatized by such horrible events. I can imagine somebody being in that position and wanting to help people like that they would not want the money spent on people that are trying to pass off as women.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, people that are doing it to gain power for themselves. That is what Jim is doing. Let's not
it becomes
pretend
this.
that he's actually... Okay.
It becomes this catch-all term that I don't like. It doesn't matter if it's trans or gay or minority. There's always some phobia. It's like, she's not afraid. People...
Yeah, the problem is we lost this battle long ago. Like, as soon as all these phobia terms were thrown around, that there wasn't enough pushback, and now it doesn't mean what it means anymore.
You're an
Because like
istophobe.
smut
Yeah.
is like you're still using the correct meaning of phobia in terms of like people being afraid, but it doesn't mean that anymore.
The way they use
people
it
that use
is
these terms.
the way they use it is as you don't like it, you don't support it. And Christopher Hitchens warned about this very strategy going to be used in 1989.
I don't mind people not liking people. I see nothing wrong with that. You can just say, I don't like the way that dude looks. Like, we're looking at Jim now. It's like, that doesn't look good. Like, good. You have every right to say that. And it's not because I'm scared of him being a whatever. It's because it's aesthetically unappealing. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It looks kind of gross. That's
and
it.
his points don't make sense regardless of how he looks.
Speaking of Smud, I told you we wouldn't get 5 minutes in before he dropped himself on the floor head first.
Well, we're going to go for another 10 minutes at best because I don't know where
my
this is
God.
going to go. It's probably not. If you're starting with this,
He's just gonna rant about J.K. Rowling without bringing any citations of how she's
I don't know
actually
if like
evil.
brings anything up, like if he shows any tweets or
Yeah,
something,
show me.
or if he's just gonna say stuff.
he's saying this is a fact. It's a fact I've never seen disputed in good faith. We're not disputing it. Someone has to prove it. You make the claim, you give us the evidence, then we'll dispute it. That's not how this works. So just saying it's a fact does not prove anything. It's like saying, I saw the sun be purple at 12 o'clock this morning or this afternoon. It's like, really? Did you take a picture? Like,
If Mrs. Rowling gets her lawyers on Jim's ass, I'm all for it. I wish her the best.
okay.
Oh yeah, she's suing people, right? I forgot about that. That would be
She's
funny.
fighting back, and I'm saying she's justified.
Good for her.
Go for it. She has the resources. Most of us don't.
People are slandering her. She should sue all of them. Yeah.
All right. Here's
Fuck 'em.
Tyler Preston. Thank you, sir. I know you're in the chat, but thank you for the donation. Heads up, later in this autistic screeching of a video, he brings up
I take offense to calling that autistic. That is just narcissistic. Please learn the difference.
Okay, he brings up a BBC article about lesbians being pressured into sex by trans women. He's basically saying, how dare these lesbos not suck our feminine cocks? Up your lips or
Basically.
you're a bigot.
Oh my
Oh.
god. Right.
Wait, he's defending rape?
Oh, right. So
That would be insane.
I think we should tackle that rabbit hole as it comes up. I think it's wrong to try and talk about that now without the...
Wasn't there a tweet like last week about how someone were saying guys should date trans women or something like that because it's transphobic or something like what does that even
There have
mean?
been several...
They
there have been several
just try
tweets
to
like that.
shame bully people into having gay sex. And having sex and relationships with people that they know they cannot have children with.
I don't...
Which is, most people, when they date, in the back of their heads is the idea of, can I have children with this person? Because even at a time when you don't think about wanting children, to most people, just the knowledge that the person across the table is infertile lowers the interest in wanting to date that person. Because that's kind of biologically ingrained. And if it wasn't, our species wouldn't exist anymore. It's not just about fucking. It's also about making baby.
All right. Okay. Let us
Continue.
In good faith, only challenged by fellow transphobes who have a pre-baked line since these people all read from the same script. What did she say?
Projection.
Exactly. That's transphobic. Rowling couches her hatred in plausible deniability, but
wait a second. What is this?
That is not the one. That is not the thing that sparked all the problems, Jim. You are lying.
This is like he's trying to build a house of cards by saying, well, at this point in time, she said this, even though it's not transphobic, it leads to it. And this is silly.
This isn't even like the full thing. Like, it starts with an and, so I assume she had a previous tweet before this one. This isn't even the full thing.
Yeah, isn't it the left that is always complaining about, the slippery slope doesn't exist? And here, Jim makes the exact argument. That tweet led to that, and not to that. Like, fuck you.
Well, this is like saying, you know how they always say this character's gay coded. It's not direct, but there's all these examples of him being potentially gay, and you add them all up, it equals one gay. You're like, no.
Also, I hate this term plausible deniability. If it's plausible, then it's plausible. That's not. Why is that a negative?
It's a legal term that has no place here. More importantly, this tweet from 2022, what is it doing in talking about what started this whole cascade, which went back all the way to 2020/2021?
This is no different than
also, what is wrong about this tweet?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
no, this is because this tweet is calling out or raising attention to the fact there are people who are not trans who will have it very easy to then claim that they are to get where they want to be, meaning easy access to their target prey, whether that be women, whether that be children. And Jim takes offense to that, which, honestly, Jim, that says way more about you than about J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, if you want to go in for the actual context of the tweet, this is horrific. Like, put aside your political compass for a moment. Just take in what the tweet is saying. People can be designated trans, as in, instead of being male, they are female. Without surgery, without hormonal changes, nothing. They are just men that declare that they're women now. Up to 40, 50-year-old men walk into the same toilet as women who have their children with them in full beard and maybe makeup if you're lucky. Would you?
Not even.
Transgender exists for a reason, for a very good reason.
Mm-hmm.
It is not just people that offer candy near a van. It is just general.
Yeah, this started with them demanding that, passing shouldn't be a requirement. And then it went further and further to, gender dysphoria shouldn't be a requirement to be called trans.
Well, this is no different.
That's when the demand for or the need for the gatekeeping of a diagnosis was under attack.
This is no different than a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, you want it to be true, so you say, "Oh, look at this. This is not 100% what we believe, so it must be the opposite." Yeah. But we don't see, we only see a fraction, so it could be true, and you just keep going and going as they say stuff you disagree with. Yeah,
and what the active agenda that happens on the left is not a slippery slope. It's salami tactics. As I laid out several examples here right now, slice by slice, it goes further. And this is the part outside of legislation. We are now at the part where we get legislation about all of this shit that demands all this crap. In Germany, we got a third legal gender, diverse, which now if you make...
that exists over here too now. Like, I saw that on a few medical documents. It has diverse and intern on it.
Yeah, and you required, if you put out a now hiring sign, you have to include that and have that the male, female, and the D, which looks like just demented or something. I don't know. The joke is, if you don't, you get fined by the state. The second joke is, the left fought for this so hard and pushed it through, and by the statistics in the entire country of over 80 million people, about 300 are using it. That means not even the insane left is using this stupid third gender bullshit.
All right, that's
garbage.
Really obsessive takes on us, her constant comparisons of trans women to men, her verbatim repetition of
Oh, you finally got to it.
Trans women are
men. Concerned that young people struggling with their mental health are being shunted towards hormones and surgery when this may not be their best interest. This is completely true. Jim, gender dysphoria, real, actual, genuine, proper, all these fun words, gender dysphoria naturally disappears in over 80% or around 80% of patients by the end of puberty, if you do not interfere with the puberty. That means the natural cure to gender dysphoria is to finish your fucking puberty without interfering. If post-puberty you still have actual, real fucking gender dysphoria, then you can think about treating it. But up until then, your best hope, your best shot in life is clench your teeth and chuck through. And Jim just wants all the trans kids that are all castrated and have due to hormone blockers, which is the worst fucking thing you can do, have internal organ development impeded, and then they have 2 weak hearts and two small lungs and have a life expectancy of 30 or 40 at best. Thanks, Jim. You're destroying lives with your bullshit because of your stupid fetish and your need for attention. You are the harm to people. You are the harm to children. Not J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is right on this. And it's coming from an actual trans person with actual fucking dysphoria.
I'm now curious who Jim's gynecologist is.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Smut, there was a super chat.
There was.
Melvin.
I am not looking at the screen. I'm sorry. Melvin, thank you, sir. A slippery slope isn't a fallacy. Fight me. Okay.
That's what I just said.
Fair enough.
The slippery slope is not real. It's salami tactics, because in politics, it's always done deliberately.
Yeah, we're not making a list of all the errors that Jim are making. We're just sort of pausing and saying our bit. We don't need to go formal listing all of them. It's not necessary. Like I brought up the self-fulfilling prophecy. There's probably a few more, but I'm not here to teach you philosophical arguments. I'm just here to listen to crap and try to make fun of it because it's so silly.
Also, Legacy, I'm not saying anything intelligent. I'm literally just looking at the screen going, no, you're allowing people with a mask, full beard, probably on a sex offender list, to walk into a bathroom alongside women who can't defend themselves unless they have a permit to carry weapons on them and their children. Sometimes unsupervised. Because it's in a mall or something. Anything could happen in there. Who's going to fucking stop them? Nobody that's allowed in there has the power to stop a full-grown man in his 30s or 40s who decides to do something. That is where my concerns are. And that's
and guess what?
Distasteful.
Yeah, and these are not phantom fears. These things happened, and they keep happening. And it's usually the delusional and the psychopathic that do this. And there's one more thing on the health, but I'm sorry, it's too late. I'll get back to it.
All right, let's keep going.
To be one of the many
You drove her there.
Branded to gender criticals. Her slide into open fascism as a result.
What?
Open fascism.
What is that?
And not following your pedo shit, bullshit, commie crap makes people fascist? Not you. I had to listen to all this, follow the science, believe the science about the climate stuff, about the coup, without question. And you, Jim, you are a denier of biology. You are a denier of science.
I'm hoping
critical means being a scientist.
I'm hoping he means open fascism means she's open about her beliefs, not that there's some other flavor of fascism we weren't taught about.
No, commie assholes like him always call everyone a fascist who's not on board with him, which ironically enough means that he's the fascist, because that's what fascism is. Everybody must be of my opinion. Nobody's allowed to have another opinion. Nobody's allowed to criticize my opinion. Everybody has to be on my team. That is fascism, in simplified terms. And that is what Jim is doing. Everybody needs to be of Jim's opinion.
Also, Jacob asks, is there another name for slippery slope? Yes, it's called boiling the frog. But slippery slope implies that you're worried that taking one step will result in an uncontrollable downturn. Whereas the example you give, which is further and further concessions, is more... How it's used in politics is more similar to a boiling frog, even though that's not how boiling a frog actually works. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's why in Germany we call it salami tactics, because it's always deliberate that the next slice is cut off, that you get the next slice of the horrible politics, because the previous ones will be used as, we've established all this other stuff, so we have to take the next step. It's just necessary. It's just logical. Like, we got the foot in the door. We got the foot in the door with a resolution, and that's, don't worry, that's not a policy. Don't worry, it's just a resolution, just a declarative statement of what our position is as a city council or as a federal government. Don't worry. And then a few months later, they will say, we have to put in this draconian Orwellian bullshit policy now because, we made this resolution. That demands that we do this, so we are consistent. That's why we have to do this. And then the next bullshit policy comes, and the next tyrannical policy comes, all justified with, we did this other shit before, so we have to do the next.
All right, so
it's good that we do the next.
I tried doing a search for open fascism. I still don't know what it is.
Of course not.
Yeah, so.
But it's very nice that you are trying to give Jim the benefit of the doubt.
Making up all these words as he goes along. Her slide into open fascism as a result has been horrifying. I don't know what that even means.
I have neither seen her fly Mussolini's bullshit nor a swastika, so I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, several people now in chat are asking why the He-Man character. So, in case you're wondering, which you clearly are, the way Jim Sterling does the Jimquisition is that in between whatever he's talking about and the relevant images, he has odd reaction images. That's what these are supposed to be. These are reaction images because this guy doesn't have a humorous bone in his body. So he just picks up whatever pop culture image he can think of.
That's why the images don't really make sense.
Yeah.
Or convey any emotion.
If you squint, you can see that this is a guy that looks like he doesn't get like what this woman is on about, but you have to give him so much faith. It's insane.
It's the same with Movie Bob, right? He has those weird pop art clips of whatever in between clips of video games, and it's just like, what is he doing with these guys from the 60s or 70s or like what?
I think it's more along with Movie Bob.
I don't know. It's silly.
I would say Movie Bob is generally better just because he picks images that are usually really easy to scan and see what the purpose is that he's trying to convey. Where Jim just picks random pop culture images where you're like, why the He-Man fish? It doesn't look distressed. It doesn't look disgusted. It just is staring there. It's standing there, standing around. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, the artwork from the He-Man, the original series, was kind of bad and hard to derive what's happening in those scenes without actual volume on the voice actors.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, open fascism, and she slid into it, and it's a horrifying result. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That's pretty funny.
It's a horrifying result, creating this He-Man fish that looks better than Jim Sterling in drag.
This is true.
Oh no, J.K. Rowling calls out my horrible fetish that I try to pretend is totally irrelevant medical condition that everybody needs to take pity on and look at me for and take me seriously about. Like, Jim, nobody takes you serious with who has a remnant of a brain.
Did he make a video where he complained about how he's now down 200,000 subscribers because people got fed up with his bullshit?
Under 1,000?
Oh, no, million, excuse me. Like he had made a 800,000.
Yeah, he had a million. Special. He had 1 million, and then he did the trans stuff, and he lost so many subs that he went back to 800,000.
Wow.
And he made a video complaining about it.
Well, I guess people don't take all bullshit.
Tyler, that is very funny, but I would not say that this fishman represents Sterling.
Wait, he lost even more. He has 700,089k now. He lost another 2,000.
Anyway,
so now he's under 800,000 too.
Just a little
just a little under.
Yeah, it's been dropping since January 2021. It looks like.
That's funny.
That's around
drunken mumble. Yeah, drunken mumble. I explained that. That's why I ramble on about that a couple of times. It's the one thing I keep on rambling on about Jim for most of the time, because it's the most blatant proof that he is not actually trans. He doesn't mean it. Drunken Mumble writes, wait, Jim's got a different name now, right? Why does he still have Jim in his channel name? Isn't that a daily dead naming for him? You can change your channel name, can't you? No, it's not just a channel name, it's the entire brand. He is, like, look in the title of the video. The Jimquisition is in the fucking thing. It's not the Stephaniequisition or some bullshit like that. No, it's all about Jim Sterling, because Jim Sterling is the brand. And he cannot give that up, because he knows that then even more people fall off, because nobody remembers him. Nobody will click on that other name that pops up. Like, what the fuck is that? I didn't subscribe to the Stephaniequisition, the Stephquisition or something. Fuck's that.
I just realized, is that why he's wearing the Mad Moxie outfit? It's because he's trying to keep because the whole name joke, Inquisition, Jimquisition, is he trying to keep that aesthetic?
What does that have to do with Moxie? It's just some random steampunk shit that he is into.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is he trying to in some way recreate the old outfit he had with the top hat and everything?
Yes. He's just trying the female version of steampunk shit.
Ew.
Anyway, it's back to the video.
Yeah.
Matt Walsh, a fascist so evil.
Matt Walsh is a fascist.
Wait. Is this true? Does she like? That is news to me. That's incredibly based. Since when?
All right. And your film did a good job exposing the incoherence of gender identity theory and some of the harms it's done. Many institutions I used to admire have uncritically embraced this dogma, but I reserve my ire for them rather than shouting coward at individual women.
Like, unironically, this is great to see from here. Like, I wouldn't expect that she would interact with Matt Walsh. But she's like, no, you did a good thing.
So Matt Walsh is now a fascist.
Of course, because he is the Christian is more correct on biology than these people. Let that sink in.
Okay, this is so stupid.
Yeah, like even the chat is asking, when did this happen? Like, I didn't know that this happened either. Like,
apparently on July 11, 20 last summer.
I'm positively surprised.
And
this brings up an earlier point from chat.
Like, this does change my opinion on her. Like, that she's willing to engage with people now that she probably wouldn't have agreed with, but now she does.
Yeah,
This
because
makes
they have a
them
common point, and Matt Walsh. I'm sorry, Matt Walsh is correct.
Yeah, he is.
All right, here's Ben Dover. How's it going, Ben? Now that Jim brought it up, I'd love to read a fascist version of Harry Potter and the National Socialist Stone, Harry Potter and the Gas Chamber of Secrets. Imagine Hagrid saying, "You're a grand wizard, Harry." He'd ride on Nimbus 1488 broom. Oh, boy.
Oh, it is so. With all due respect, there would be better names for that, like Harry Potter and the Thule Ritual.
But Chad did bring up a point earlier aimed towards you, Smud, and that was whether you agreed with Matt Walsh's takes on the trans movement.
I don't know too much enough. I've heard some of his stuff. He has a really good 4-minute clips where he takes some news item or someone says something about him and he replies. He's pretty good, but he's just the layman. He's just a guy. There's nothing really I take from him as saying, okay, this is what intelligentsia is saying, because he's just an investigator. He just says, okay, I'm asking a question. What's the answer? So I generally like the guy, and that's why I like characters like Angry Joe. Like I get a straight answer out of Joe. There's no whimsical words or weird definitions or this or that. So Matt Walsh I generally like, but to accuse Matt Walsh of being a fascist is just, it is so ridiculous to say that. To look
It's
at
name calling because they have nothing to say. They have no points to make, because everything that these gender activists believe is absolutely insane and doesn't have anything to do with reality.
And when
one sentence maybe that I should just put out very, very clearly by itself is the trans activists hate real gender dysphorics. They hate us. They're not speaking for us. They hate our existence. If anyone's trying to erase us, it's them. Because they know that our medical condition, that they built their fan fiction of trans ideology on, that our medical condition is the counter proof to their bullshit. And that's why now that they got so much power, they need to get rid of us. We were just their stepping stone.
So in this example of the tweet, I don't see her being a fan. I just see her replying to Matt. That's all I see. I'm not saying, oh, wow, Matt, you're amazing. I love you, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, I just like your film that did this and that, and it was okay. It's like, great. Thank you. It's not like if I were to reply to Jordan Peterson and say, oh, my God, Jordan, you're amazing. I love you. But it's like, no. It's like, that's a good comment I like. You can reply to people on Twitter and not be their fans and have a respectful discourse. It's not hard.
For these people, it is.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, look at J.K. Rowling talking to the How is he a fascist? Self-described one? Okay, let's say I'll say I'm a fascist. Like, what does that mean? Am I describing it? Am I defining it?
No, it's the word for other. It's not the communist, so you are a fascist.
So I'm a fascist.
That's as simple as it is. You're not on our side, so you are a fascist.
So I'm the devil or whatever. Yeah, this is silly. Who cares if he uses that term? Even if that were the case. Let's say he actually calls him that. Like, that's unironically. It's like, yeah, no kidding. It doesn't matter at that point.
The real irony is that the word is used the exact opposite way it should be. Like when you call everyone who's not on board with you a fascist, that means you are a fascist.
Yeah, and isn't Matt Walsh associated with the Ben Shapiro group of people that they are all pretty much right-leaning, libertarian, small government, maximum freedom people? It's like this is the exact opposite of what they are.
I don't know about that. Although this entire thing just reminds me of Edward Griffin's tape on communist smear tactics, where he read up a text from a communist smear tactics expert, like somebody that actually did so and used it during the Cold War. That went something like, if you have an opponent that is speaking too loudly against the communist cause, use smear tactics. Call them fascists. Nazi or anti-Semitic. Make him associated with these brands through repetition, regardless of the truth. Make it so that regardless of the truth, that the public mind thinks of them, correlates him to negative things such as fascism, and get in touch with anti-fascist organizations and get them to target him. That way you can eliminate anyone that speaks out against you. That's the exact same thing we're seeing here, with Jim going, oh yeah, anyone that associates with J.K. Rowling or who makes products which he enjoys, as she mentions in the tweet, is also a TERF and a fascist, and probably anti-Semitic.
So I just looked up whether he works for the Daily Wire, and I accidentally saw like his German Wikipedia page, and the German Wikipedia page of Matt Walsh says that he's a far-right extremist.
Isn't it a documentary?
Well, the German left-wing, sometimes investigative magazine Der Spiegel, the Mirror, claimed in 2017, 2018 that Dave Rubin is a far-right extremist.
Okay.
Oh,
naming him alongside Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson.
Oh my God. Anyway.
The Spiegel, anytime I hear about them, it's them claiming that someone else is a fascist.
Yeah. Oh, they also use quotes by Marx and Engels in random articles.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson with
things.
extreme views such as clean your room and improve yourself.
Yeah, but no, when I just read this is about Dave Rubin being a far-right extremist. Nobody in Germany knows who Dave Rubin is. Nobody in Germany knows that he's a gay liberal who has a talk show.
I'm just imagining like a 70-year-old German like
gay liberal Jew who has a talk
show.
From
his papers going, Dave who? Who?
All right, let's keep going. Here's GAW004. Thank you, sir. A guy calling others fascist wants people excommunicated from society for spending their money how they want. I'm not sure if that's what Jim's saying, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's probably the least of the things he wants from...
Well, that is what he's saying in translation.
I don't want to do that. These guys are already implying too much. I don't want to...
bad enough already. Let's not try and put words in their mouth.
Put words in their mouth, yeah. Let's just keep going.
From accusing LGBTQ plus people.
Right-wing troll.
What?
Wait, what? He just called him a pedo.
Pregnancy, not per se. It's unwed pregnancy. Okay. I am not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
So he puts, okay, he's a pro-lifer, so he is against abortion. Maybe on a wacky level. Can be. To equate that with pedophilia is insane.
Yeah, that one I'm fine with tackling. Like, fuck off. But I don't...
And the important thing is, because the left always says, oh, but the Catholic Church has pedophiles, and this and that has pedophiles. Yes, they have these scandals, and they do not solve them in mature ways. Like they usually just hope that goes all quiet, and then they transfer the horrible priest to another diocese or something.
Well, that's the solution for everything. It's not even if there is even a hint.
That is not good. We do not endorse that. The Catholic Church has bled members for decades because of this practice. But what is the big difference to the left, to socialism, to communism, to trans ideology? That is the only ideology on the bloody planet, at least that I know of, very big ideology, that is openly advocating for pedophilia, that wants to normalize it, that keeps more and more talking about it again and again. The Green Party in Germany tried it in the 90s, just after their founding. They had petitions and everything with signatures of back then already, their high-ranking politicians who later on and right now sit in federal parliament. Those are people who want to normalize pedophilia. That's the left. socialism tries to openly normalize pedophilia and tries to paint it as a positive. That is the difference, Jim. Your ideology is that which is the pro-pedophile ideology. Always was. So shut the fuck up. You are worse. Your ideology is worse in every respect.
Okay, let's keep going. I don't know what this has to do with anything now, but let's see what he has to say.
These liked tweets from the abjectly abhorrent libs of
It's not abhorrent, it's funny.
TikTok account,
super
a
funny.
notorious right-wing platform that outs queer people and is used to organize attacks against.
What Libs of TikTok is a right-wing platform? What is he talking about? Twitter is not a right-wing
How
platform.
many?
He's
How many
trying to
people
link
is-
it to a shooting now. Look at
Yeah,
that.
how many people is Jim slandering here?
This is
He's
nuts.
slandering just a bunch of people.
This is gross and
Libs
nuts.
of TikTok is responsible for a shooting? Like, are you serious?
Was this the shooting where a non-binary person did the club shooting of the queer club? Was that it?
Oh, geez, I don't remember.
Because that was so stupid. And then they finally started to say, "Oh well, you can tell that it's not really a non-binary person." Oh, all of a sudden you can't. All of a sudden you can question that because one did not fall in line with your bullshit.
This is not the tragedy you want to tie to your enemy, because the perpetrator was one of your allies.
Yeah, and the way from what I could piece together I didn't dig very deep. I watched some of the interviews with some of the survivors, and the body language was telling me, at least, that the people at this club very likely bullied the then shooter. That was horrid. It was basically a school shooting in a queer club.
Anyway, to associate this with a social media account is insane. So we're not
An
even-
unrelated social media account too. Like, it's like saying a synagogue gets shot up hours before Ben Shapiro appeared at a talk show. Tying the two together seems like such a reach.
Okay.
drag shows, hospital.
Blame.
She stands.
What? I didn't see that.
I don't think it's important. I find it very funny that he stands with the science while supporting mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it extremely funny. Because
Mermaid is just a fetishist pedophile organization. It does not help. It does not help children.
Yeah, but I just find it funny because they are being sued for their malpractices. That stands against science.
Oh, that was the Baroness. I vaguely remember the connection. Okay.
So here's J.K. Rowling saying, dress however you want, call yourself whatever you want, have sex with whatever you want, do whatever you want. But if you force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real, that's where she draws the line.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what I was hearing so much traction about. Was the whole, this is not a drill. I stand with Maya. That checks out.
And biological sex is defined by what sort of gametes you produce, sperm or eggs. What tissue did you naturally have that is and that is preferably functional as well? And the differences between the sexes are so vast you wouldn't believe it. Even how hair works between the sexes is different. How that chemically reacts to various things in the body.
Right.
It's insane.
Smut chat is saying that the video is buffering. Do you know what to do here?
It has been doing that for the past few days. I don't know. I haven't changed any settings. It has to do with whatever servers Watch Together is playing around with. It could be getting popular. We could be connecting at different ports. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So, But it's really out of my hands. I'm not downloading anything. All my other programs are closed aside from my browser. So couldn't tell you.
All right, they're at least specifying that it is watched together as buffering. So I was feeling that it was us that were buffering.
Yeah, because some people, like, you might not get the same effect that I'm getting, and we're all watching the same video, so it has to be watched together, or you're watched together, rather. So, yeah, I can't control it. And I finally fixed my problems with Streamlab, so that's probably not causing it. But, yeah, no, I can't do much. Sorry, guys.
Statter, who, after losing her trans comments, has dedicated her life to combating trans rights. She once sent accidental transphobic profanity to a 9-year-old girl after pasting a comment from an anti-trans website she was reading and copying at the time. She called criticism of this censorship and authority.
Why? What's that? How do you message a 9-year-old girl? Why is a 9-year-old girl on the internet?
First
How
off,
do you say something transphobic to a kid? A kid can't be trans. Like, stop with this nonsense.
Yes,
Women
that as
are
well.
real. Yeah, that 9-year-old's world sure shook it. They must be horrified at that concept. Women are real.
what did she say?
Whatever she said, it can't be more harmful than the images that you can find on the surgeries therein. And if that is what she showed the kid, prison time immediately. But I don't think that's where we're at.
Anyway.
Censorship and authoritarianism. Yes, that is exactly what you're doing, Jim. That is the side you are on. Just like the fucking Soviet Union. There was censorship and authoritarianism. As always happens when socialism takes power. Every fucking time. I grew up in such a country. It was shit. Don't try to scam people into believing that your shit is in any way nice.
Obsessive. Scroll through her Twitter and you'll find that she thinks about trans people all day.
Bro, you've been thinking about this game coming out for a year and has nothing to do with J.K. Rowling. I don't think you have any space to talk about obsession.
Isn't
If anyone's
JK...
obsessive, it's the left about J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, isn't J.K. Rowling a feminist? She has nothing. She doesn't really care about trans
She's
issues.
an extreme feminist. That's what's funny.
Yeah.
Is that she got excluded for supporting a woman that got thrown out because she was mean towards trans people.
Mm-hmm.
She got
Alleged
purified.
trans person.
All right.
We don't know the actual identity of the person she was mean towards because confidential. But that is very ironic considering the tactics of the extreme feminists. Or radical feminists, excuse me.
All right.
Oh god, there's the mermaid stuff coming. Ah, my thing.
She herself
thing broke.
has fought against Scotland's gender recognition reforms.
Good.
Gender recognition reform. That.
The thing that just got
What
through in
even is
Spain.
Ew.
Uh,
The moment I hear stuff like that, I immediately think there's a snake in the grass and it's coming towards vulnerable people.
Yeah, mermaids is just plain evil. And when Jim is defending all this shit and even denying predators exist, when someone denies that predators even exist so fervently, it's not due to naivety. It's because he or she wants access to prey him or herself. This is why I've only seen this pattern with predators. Predators excusing and denying the existence of other predators so that they can be better predators, that they have it easier. I call Jim a predator who's covering for other predators.
So I looked up the Spain thing and I came across a funny headline. As Spain advances trans rights, Sweden backtracks on gender-affirming treatments for teens. Sweden is becoming the based one.
Well, yeah, they went through a lot of horrible shit reality in the past years, didn't they?
Yeah.
Contrary to
They're
some other
finally
countries who
turning it
still refuse
around.
to learn.
And now Spain is the new Sweden, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope the best for Spain, but Sweden deserves to suffer.
Anyway,
Of course you would say that.
I would. Fuck Sweden.
Okay.
Denmark and Norway stand strong.
All right.
Make Sweden Danelaw again?
Oh, Christ, no.
Jeez. Okay, let's keep going.
Scaremongering and spreading outright lies about a law that would simply make being trans a tiny bit easier. She still has the nerve to act offended at accusations.
Jim. There's no such thing as making being trans easier. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. You don't choose to be trans. It's a medical condition. You are. You don't make choices. You don't become trans.
Okay, so we're at 9 minutes now. Still, he's talking about her. Still.
I'm
This whole video will be that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Where's the game?
Where's
no game. There's no game. It's just him ranting about J.K. Rowling.
Well, who the hell wants to listen to this anyway? Like, this is silly. This is so dumb. You're either buying his shit, which I'm not, or you want something to do with the game and what this fiasco means. Is all he's saying. Well,
no.
This is so silly.
Go and click further in the video. There's nothing.
Oh, he's mentioning something about a game developed by game developers. So why aren't you buying every game? What the hell?
I don't know.
No, I'm not changing any minds
right
here. The bigots and Potter fans and people who just want to enjoy a video game made their decision. The allies who want to separate art from artists or hate JKR but just always wanted to Skyrim or Hogwarts made their decision. And regardless of intent, all of you look exactly the same to J.K. Rowling.
She has nothing to do with the game.
People have tried to justify...
Nothing.
At best, she gets royalties. That's the best you can get.
Yeah, we don't even know what that is. It could be $5. It could be 5%. We have no clue. Like it's not even an issue.
It's basically being the George Lucas in this.
Something like that. Yeah. This is so. Well, at least we're at the game part.
Are we? Are we really at the game part? Because now he's just lumped everyone, regardless of context, that paid for the game, or bought it, or pirated, or whatever, all look the same to what he deems to be Satan. Is that really about the game? Or just using the game again as a sledgehammer against his Satan?
It's a stupid statement to say that to J.K. Rowling, she sees all the purchasers of this product the same. It's like, well, what does that even mean? Does she like have a log file at the end of the day? Oh, 100 people bought your game today. Here they are. And like, what, does she know where they live and what they eat? And oh, they're just a number to me. I don't care. It's like, what? No one has this data.
Now, he's implying she keeps track of all of us. When we buy a copy of Hogwarts Legacy, she has a list of people, their names, and their genetic origin.
Something like that. Like, I know where you live. I know your demographic. I know how to make my next game sell, even though she's not have anything to do with the actual production or marketing of the game. Oh my God. Jim, give it a rest, buddy. We know you like your femininity, but just leave everyone else out of it.
And what he believes that is.
My identity is so important. Oh my God.
Oh, are we getting over to how the rest of the industry is suffering?
I don't know. He's talking about Activision Blizzard for some stupid reason, but let's keep going. 19 minutes.
Stealing breast milk from fridges?
Oh my God.
Hurt by an influx of revenue to maintain the rate based on customer support. If they did, we'd get more single-player games and fewer ones based around financially exploiting a minority of a whale.
What the fuck are you talking about? There are games that live off their customer support. But that's a completely different topic. I'm just saying that even the random shit he says is wrong.
Like, how did he pull this into microtransaction rants? Like, what does this have to do?
I don't know.
Are there microtransactions in the Hogwarts game?
I don't think so.
Okay. We did jump forward in the video. Let's be somewhat fair when it comes to context. When we deliberately jump from one point of the video to the other, we shouldn't expect everything to fit in nicely.
As if anything he said before made sense.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just to give him the slightest will do.
All right. We'll have him finish his sentence and we'll try to judge him after that. Okay.
Okay.
players. The devs that tossed in a token trans character called Sir Orion, explicitly to try and steer us all away from the subject of J.K. Rowling.
What?
Jim, I want to see that. Can you bring that up again?
Tossed in a token trans character called Sir Orion.
There we go.
Okay. An old acquaintance did some work on the game. Didn't choose to say other than the game is mediocre and it's blah 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 blah. They added a token. I'm told they added a token trans NPC to pivot the conversation away from J.K. Rowling. They are barely.
Wait, he's sourcing himself. Like, this is his own tweet.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jim's Twitter account. Like, what is this? He's sourcing himself.
This reminded me of that time CNN brought up a CNN article claiming that CNN did not make fake news.
5:32 a.m. What are you doing at 5:32 a.m., Jim? Exercising?
I investigated myself and I found out that I did nothing wrong.
Pre-breakfast.
But I do think I understand what his point is now. Is that if you want to support the games industry, as in the people that added that token character, if you buy Hogwarts Legacy, you're not supporting those people. The people that are your allies. You're not helping them. You're helping the games industry. The great Leviathan itself that wants microtransactions for children. You know, those predatory microtransactions, which are more evil. I remember, microtransactions are the devil, but actually preying on children, that's just, them living their own lives or whatever. Law said, and charities that allow people like 40s or 50s to mutilate children. That's not predatory towards children. Now, microtransactions, they're the real thing.
Okay, here's codename Clan Next Door. Thank you, sir. Careful guy, Jim Sterling knows where you live, and he will eat everything edible and a few non-edible items in your house. I'm the real, though. Jim is like a British version of Movie Bob, an orbiter, desperate to belong, but never will. I don't
think Movie Bob or Jim are orbiting anything. I think things orbit them.
I don't even know what they're trying to do anymore, because I think Movie Bob is no longer part of whatever program he is part of, and Jim is its own beast now. I just don't get what they're trying to do. Like, this rhetoric can't keep going. You can't just keep saying it's like watching a Jesse Gender. It's like just, trans. I'm going to talk about trans while I'm playing tennis. It's like, I don't care. What is this for? Who cares about these things?
It's to push fetishist propaganda that claims to be trans. That's all.
I'm just laughing.
That's why Jim can also not be happy about this bullshit trans character that is honestly more of a mockery than a positive depiction. Because honestly, you cannot make, in a random game, or in a show, you cannot make a random positive trans depiction on the side. Because if you did that, that would be a completely fully passing character that you couldn't tell is trans. And that's why the left is never satisfied, and why they have to depict everyone like horrid, disjointed clowns. Because otherwise, you couldn't tell that it's supposed to be a trans character. And that's the insulting part. Somebody in the chat there, Gumi asked, Smutboy, have any of you lived in the USSR?
No, thanks. No, I have not.
I grew up in East Germany, and my family, like many families in Germany, are a bit fucked. And there are other people in the cast that have, or their families have grown up in the Eastern Bloc, but I do not know off the top of my head. Mark's from Hungary, and that's all I remember. Aunt Rabbit's from Poland.
I've had family that lived in the Eastern Bloc, and to this day, they complain that the Eastern Bloc was, well, they were better off in the Eastern Bloc than the Western Bloc when the wall fell. So that's about my history with the Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, well, this was mainly because when the wall fell, the West, there was absolutely no regulation. So you had the locust capitalists that were the literal demon capitalists that the communists always warned about. They just went into the East, bought up companies, liquidated them, and left with everyone being unemployed. And that's why people then started to vote the fucking left communist parties again, because that was at least the devil they knew. This is the super short version of why reunification, at least in Germany, was completely fucked. Instead of building up the East, they just let the vultures eat it up. And this is why Korea is terrified of the idea of reunification, because East and West Germany were not as far apart culturally and economically as North and South Korea are today. And they have regular delegations coming to Berlin to the Reunification Museum, and they always leave with shocked and ghost-like faces. They're terrified of that, because the way you need to regulate that would be absolutely draconian to make sure that for at least a decade, people are still not moving freely across the border. Otherwise, you would just wreck both sides' labor markets. But that is a completely off-topic thing now, and at least it allows us to not have to look at whatever Jim is trying to be.
All right, I think I went a bit too far. Let me just rewind just a touch. Okay, 24 minutes and 30 seconds. That's pretty fair. So we're more than... we're almost halfway... we're almost into the 2-minute mark of the ending. So anyway. Okay, here we go.
Carlson, a lot of these do. They incite hatred.
No, only you do that.
Rowling
Jim.
is not a right winger. I'm sorry, she's not.
Yeah.
She's
This
not-
is delusional.
She's not inciting hatred. No one's doing... She's not... I've never seen her do any of that.
Yeah, no, she's not. She's definitely not doing that. She's surprisingly polite. But I say it's people like Jim who incite hatred towards
Yes.
trans people, because
Yes.
what the fuck are you? What are you talking about? You fetishist, communist, pedophile apologist. Of course people are more nervous around us, because people like you exist who pretend to be us, who run under our label that we don't like. We don't like to be trans. We want to have this condition not exist. We don't want others to have to suffer through it. But you, people like you fetishize our condition. You make a joke out of it. Just look at you and your silly makeup and your silly wig. It's like, what even are you trying to be? Because you don't look like a woman. You look like a disaster. It's just a disaster on zero sugar.
I just wanted to mention something that Actman brought up in his video on Hogwarts Hot Takes, that the greatest enemy to trans people are those that supposedly represent them.
Thank you.
Part of the community, because they always pick pointless fights, and when offered to give money to trans charities or hotlines that can save people's lives, including a person whom contacted Ackman after one of his videos about a charity that he had supported on stream, actually saved her life, or his life. I don't know which one it was, didn't specify. But point is, the hotline he had supported saved their life in the past. They were very happy that it finally got brought up and got attention, which none of the allies, quote-unquote allies, have done. It's always people from the outside coming in that gives money to these charities. They are not getting anything from the people that call themselves trans, because funnily enough, they're all broke. They have no money to spare. But they have plenty of attention
the people with the
to give to pointless shit, like who made the IP that the Hogwarts Legacy game is based around, and can make a 25-minute video about J.K. Rowling, about how everyone that buys the game supports trans genocide. And I think we've covered off every blacklisted word on YouTube, so don't expect any reach on this video, Smud.
And just to round that out, the people with the actual medical condition are in such a bad mental state usually because it just eats away at you from the inside. It's constant mental stress. It's not something you want, and that leads to not being very successful in life. Not because you don't have the capabilities or the skills, but because you're basically constantly burnt out, and that those people then usually don't have them to run these support things. And once we get through it, we're just happy we're out of it. That's just that part. But yeah, good on Actman on that one. Thank you, Lale, for telling about that.
All right, we got our 2 minutes left, and hopefully it's all just him dancing around and listening to his outro.
One can pray.
Yeah.
One can hope and pray.
A marginalized group, in the hopes that some harm comes to.
You injected yourself into this group. You don't belong here.
If
we were more, we could have kept you out. You fucking faker.
There's no.
Rowling never said anything about harm to anybody.
Exactly.
Like this exact opposite.
Yeah, she's never wanted anyone to get hurt. So I don't know where
Jim's position. Yeah, Jim's position is what brings harm to children.
Yes.
It's no surprise violence against trans people is on the rise.
Stats?
And that it's rising.
What are you fucking talking about? Show me the fucking evidence. Because violence, that's not what I got from anyone outside the left. You fucking asshole. Who's canceling people all over the place?
Like if this was right, if this was right, then it's the people like Jim that are at fault of that. Because they're making people more extreme.
Yeah. Who is constantly calling for physical violence, and who is constantly exerting psychological violence? These whole cancel campaigns. The shit I went through in 2017. That was exactly that shit. Because I was in the way of some of you fucking communist vultures brainwashing people. Same shit. Just that I'm not as known as J.K. Rowling. I didn't have an internet platform. People like me get targeted every day by the left and then just disappear. Nobody ever hears from them again. Because cancel culture, as they call it, is this euphemism, this horrible euphemism. It sounds like a teddy bear. It works on it every day. And it works on the small people. The only times you hear about it, it is when it hits some celebrity. But they do it to everyone around their social circles, within their social circles and around them. And those people, nobody stands up for. Nobody knows about them. And it will then just be framed as a suicide, and we wanted to help but couldn't. That person was always disturbed. What a loss, what a loss. People like Jim, will then play hero and victim at the same time and mourn the suicide that they created, that they bullied into a suicide. That's what cancel culture really is and what it's about. And here he is standing, crying victim himself. But, it's the others that are doing it, that are enacting violence against trans people. No, Jim, no, it's the left that's doing that for the most part.
In conjunction with people like Carlson going on TV, telling everyone that we're out to get their children. Anyway, that's stochastic terrorism.
You are.
Stochastic. What?
Didn't he highlight an article about getting children surgery?
Yes. And he positively mentioned mermaids.
A organization that is currently...
What is stochastic terrorism? It's the first I've heard of this. I know what stochastic chemistry is, but the use of mass public communication, usually against a particular individual or group, which incites or inspires acts of terrorism which are statistically probable but happen seemingly at random. What?
This sounds like a communist term, unironically. This sounds like, because this is so vague. It could be any action within following that action, as he brought up earlier with the list of TikTok, because they mocked a trans person, whatever, and then it was a shooting. That means that it was the list of TikTok's fault.
Yeah, but this is no different than what he's doing right now. He's saying how bad and how horrible this person is, and what would happen if suddenly she was attacked at lunch on some public area, like a restaurant. Like, that's exactly what this person's doing.
Well, but it doesn't count for him, because that's why it's so nice and vague. It's only when their enemies do it.
How the heck do you have a stochastic terrorist act against some random person, like a nobody on Twitter? Like, how does that work? It has to be someone popular. It has to be someone known, someone noticeable, who's public. This is silly.
That's why I immediately assumed it was a communist term, because this sounds perfectly made to target anyone they really want to smear. Saying, oh, this guy made a public appearance, and then there was a tragedy, oh, it's his fault. But by the words on the page, any form of communication following that form of communication can lead to a tragedy, or some kind of discrimination, or suicide, or something else horrible. And nobody's going to blame them for it. It's so slimy, it's so dishonest, it just immediately strikes me as a communist invention.
Yeah, every single month there's some new term I've never heard of before that these people invent. And you're like, what are you rambling on about now? Like, what is the problem now? And now they're blaming the online platforms, the social media, I guess, that if one person who's popular, like Jim, who starts attacking someone like J.K. Rowling, there could be an unintended violent act against the person they're arguing about. This is silly. Are we?
Also,
if this is the case, and if J.K. Rowling gets attacked, we're going to blame Jim because there's a correlation between the time he released his video.
Oh, in this case, I would, because he's inciting violence and hatred.
True. So, Gumi, or Gumi Guns, excuse me. We cannot answer all your questions. You're asking a lot of questions. But, yeah, we try to do our best to answer what questions pop up in chat. And Master asks, has Jim made any point so far? Or is he still going on just babbling about the turf?
There's a lot of correlations, or a lot of associations, I would say, not even correlations, of Jim's opinion, and we skipped a lot because it's all nonsense, of what people said, and guilt by association, and a supposed violence against trans. I don't know where or when. Was it the thing in the club months and months ago?
That was committed by a non-binary person.
Because they were
that was rainbow on rainbow violence.
Oh, please don't say it like that. Oh,
Why
Jesus.
not?
Because it makes us sound horrible. We're not.
It is horrible.
Well,
it's also stupid.
So there's very little about the game. We did skip a bit of it, but it was pretty much again, guilt by association. If you buy this game,
the closest we got to the game was guilt by association. If you buy the game, J.K. Rowling knows your location. She knows your.
And for the nitpickers, yes, we didn't have any part here where Jim was actively calling for violence against J.K. Rowling. The picture he paints about her is like the ultimate demon Hitler that needs to be taken out.
This is like no different than what Pillar of Garbage did to me a few months back. It's the same crap. They're going to keep perpetuating a lie. They're not going to engage individually. They're not going to talk to you. They're just going to keep taking snipes, and then they're going to go, well, I'm going to stop engaging, or else it's going to be a tit for tat and back and forth. It's like, I don't care. I have no problem defending myself. I have no problem defending J.K. Rowling if I feel the need, but she hasn't done anything. There's nothing wrong she did. It's just a bunch of harpies who think they're women rambling on about nothing.
I'm not sure they think they're women. I think they just claim it.
Well, that's good enough.
Not
for me.
all of them think they're women. Look, Smart. Many of them think they have an astral gender or Borg gender.
They can think whatever they like. That's fine. It all comes
And
down
not-
to reality for me. And if they have any proof of whatever they're talking about, let's look at it. Let's find that out. But we haven't seen any.
That's what I wanted. That's what I so preciously wanted. This guy said outright he had waited a year to make this video. I was hoping he would have some singer, something to get at J.K. Rowling. He has done less than what I expected. He went not even in chronological order. He just threw tweets up at the screen and called her a bad person. This has been in the waiting for a year for him. And this is what he produced. A guilt by association video that calls everyone he doesn't like fascist. And claims that they are
This
committing
video
terrorism.
where one of his sources is a tweet of himself, which is still the
Exactly.
funniest part to me.
And of course, again, one thing is omitted. And that is the the second thing is omitted. And that is the existence of detransitioners, which are the second thing that completely destroy Jim's narrative about trans shit. That kids definitely all need this right away, and without proper medical checks, without proper diagnosis, because those people those are traitors. They don't exist. We shouldn't talk about them.
I'm trying to remember my my psych teaching, and there was this a phenomenon. It was also in sociology when I was studying that as an elective. Like you have like all your courses you have to do. You have your main psych courses. You have some sociology courses. You have some chemistry courses, whatever. And it was a thing about how there's these not inclusions, but there's like these random events in human behavior that pop up and go away, and based on psychology. So like the multiple personality disorder, once it was discovered or supposedly discovered by the APA, all of a sudden there's all these people saying there's MPD, and then it took about 10 years to be like, no, there's no such thing as MPD, and they had to dial it back in the 80s, and then they called it DID, dissociative identity disorder.
Oh god, that bullshit.
And it just kept going like that.
And somehow it's almost exclusively people with borderline personality disorder that have it.
Yeah, and then
because it allows them their magical thinking and escapism, and it gives them an excuse for attention and for dodging responsibility. And there's a very, very nice video by Dr. Todd Grande about the origins of that disorder, and the book Sybil, that was the cause of it all. And in short, the doctor who invented the condition brainwashed his patient to believe to have multiple personality disorder. And then that patient later came out and said, hey, no, I didn't have that. The doctor just made me think I did.
Yeah, there's a series of events that people don't even know. And if they were aware of it, I'm sure there's a lot of fakers out there that would try and pull it off and get legal terms.
He only wanted to sell his book. And the book then caused a sudden surge in tons of women, mind you, that all claim to have it. So strange. And now we see the same shit with the trans shit.
I think it's the same idea.
It's even easier now to trick people into thinking that they have some kind of disorder through online tests and whatnot, where people unironically believe that a test where you answer a couple of questions means that you are indeed autistic.
Well, it's the same with hyperactivity. It was ADD, then it was ADHD, then it's whatever it's called nowadays. They tried to figure out, kids are really hyper when they're young, especially young males. It's like, I wonder why that is. Yeah, they're 5. They're 4. Like, it's a condition. It's been found in teenagers. It's like, no, that's called hormones. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just this bizarre sequence.
It's called puberty.
Yeah.
My kid suddenly turned insane and irrational, doesn't talk with me anymore, and just hates everything. And that's puberty.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
it's normal.
A child at 13 or 14.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when puberty was called temporary youth insanity, something like that, along those lines. It was classified as a type of temporary insanity that goes away naturally again. It's great.
Anyway, this is just a thing I remember back in university, but not a big deal. Okay, we're gonna finish this off. I swear we're gonna finish this off.
RMS does mention, I expected nothing and I'm still disappointed. Completely agree. And the Giga Chat goes, J.K. Rowling knows your location and is approaching quickly.
ADD, ADHD, 84K.
HDMI.
Hey, I like that one Eco Dreamer. I like that.
All right, let's go.
We don't deserve this yet. You guys are so cool.
A very method of causing harm because for years it allows you to plausibly deny your involvement. Well, had nothing to do with me. Of course, with JKR, there's a lot more we could talk about.
No.
We could talk about the many criticisms people have had of the anti-Semitic portrayal of goblins in her.
Oh my fucking god!
That's
Please.
silly. That is as bad, if not worse, than the Dungeons and Dragons nonsense with the was not the goblins, the orcs being black. Yeah, this is so silly. You can't take this seriously.
Cease to be, please. Just stop. I hate this. I despise this. You were gone on for 25 minutes, not talking about the game in any way. The best you said was that anyone that buys it is guilty by association. That was all we got. And now at the end, he's like, oh, I could have kept going and talked about how goblins are actually Jews. Who made that association, huh?
Okay, I think we can stop here. Yeah, this is already
same thing as the one with the extra credits where they talked about the orcs being black people. Exactly. Like everyone who says this is just outing themselves as racist. It's just that easy. Like you're self-reporting. That's all that's happening.
Look, Jim is just jealous that he didn't and sad that he didn't find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
All right, here's our last super chat, I hope, and then we're gonna go straight to street memes because this is.
Let's wrap this up. We're almost done with the video.
Oh, come on! You mentioning that her characters are anti-Semitic or some bullshit? Like that's ridiculous. It's
ridiculous, but we need to at least finish like this 1.5 minutes.
Push through it. Let's go.
All right.
About how she certainly when it comes to using fatness.
Hey, you fat, jealous asshole.
Wait a second.
That's a natural thing about humanity.
Fatness as a visual indicator of evil. Do you guys remember Voldemort? Was he fat?
Jack Horner?
This is true what Wisp said. Like this has been a thing in stories forever. Like the evil thing is always ugly and the good thing is beautiful and strong. Like this has always been a thing.
Yes.
This is not Rowling doing something. This is just storytelling.
But isn't Voldemort thin? Like he's a vampire, isn't he?
He's a thin vampire-looking ghoul. Like he's extremely hideous. Yeah.
What's the fat evil she's talking about? Where's that in the books?
That's Jack Horner.
I'm just trying to think. The only one that comes to mind that's fat is like that one dumb kid in the first movie, where they try to stop them when they try to go down to the chamber.
Oh, the kid. Oh, the young guy. Okay, that's something else. That's just like
he's like that's like the only one I can think of where there's fat. Oh no, Hufflepuff. The woman in the what's it? The Phoenix? Ordered Phoenix movie? Where it's like the fat teacher that's actually evil. And then it's the woman that started the movie that they make float away.
Okay, but this is getting nowhere. He's just randomly bringing shit up.
No, Jim is complaining that fat people are depicted as evil because he's evil. And he doesn't want to be unmasked before he can commit whatever he wants to.
Well, I'm just
also, don't you love that he's bringing all of these things up in the last few minutes? Like the entire video was basically nothing, and now he's actually trying to make points, but he's making them like at the last minute.
But Ken, don't you remember the rule of the last insane last 2 minutes?
The 5 minutes.
Yeah, the insane last 2 minutes. Yeah.
A visual indicator of evil. With what I personally feel is my field of experience, what I feel I can speak to
in the mirror.
But J.K. Rowling is a shit. That's the bottom line. She's
All right, we're done.
Yeah.
Name calling. Let's just stop
bye.
that.
Bye.
Look in the fucking mirror. Holy shit.
All right. Cabral did make a super chat. I'm sorry for making you go through that extra 40 seconds just for that. That was not worth it.
Yeah, that was silly. Let me see, Copperell. What do you got for buddy? Here we go. Guys, guess who got their tax return? I'm getting Taco Bell. Also, Moby Dick here needs to stop opening its mouth so it can lose weight and stop talking. Yeah, good luck with Jim on that one. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you enjoy that Taco Bell.
People think fast food is bad for you. Anything and too much is bad for you. I'm sure there's lots of sodium and other things that make it tasty. You shouldn't have too much. But if all you got is Taco Bell, your body needs energy, so you eat what you got.
You eating meat exclusively is also bad for you. Eating beans exclusively is bad for you. Anything in excess is bad for you.
Yeah.
All right.
But I can easily ward off Jim with mountains of oats that I have.
Give him a bag
I don't
of carrots.
think he's into oats.
Give him a bag of broccoli. Maybe he'll.
I'll just, instead of salt, I just put out oats on my doorstep, and then he can't cross.
So here we got Hogwarts Legacy. It means not welcome. Okay. All right. Legacy, what do you got for me, buddy?
There's so much text.
Help, Cedric Diggory has been killed. Yes, Cedric Diggory, my main rival as Hogwarts champion and object of Cho Chang's affection, has been killed in the maze. Voldemort did it. He's been dead for 13 years, but he's back, and he killed Cedric. Don't ask how. No one asked how. There are no witnesses. Please do not look for any. The other two champions in the maze were cursed with Imperio. Don't bother fetching your Veritaserum, Professor Snape. I believe it's all been stolen. I am so upset right now. Has anyone seen Cho? When do I get the prize money?
I'm confused.
I don't know what just happened there.
I don't know what to say. Just smile and nod.
I do understand what scene is being played here, but it is kind of funny, but I don't know these characters.
Yeah, I'm not going to read this either. I don't know. I don't know what this is. British people will see this and think he's got a siren for his head. Rather stupid, ain't it? What is this? Is this a video game or
The Siren Head. It's a creepypasta, I think.
Isn't that an SCP thing?
No, it's its own thing, I think. It's
Okay.
it's just some thing that has a siren for its head.
all right?
That's
That's it.
Dr. Sidney Watson. Which Harry Potter film is this from? That's good.
Oh dear.
Harry Potter and the Congress of Secrets. Yeah, this is when what's-his-face went to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Oh, we need money. We need bombs. Please give us bombs. Okay. This is totally not World War III, guys. Yeah, just... Oh, boy. Harry Potter, 52 of Greenville, crack possession. Harry Potter in the order to step out of the car. Oh, dear. Sterling be like, I like being retarded. It makes me happy. If it is, I mean, more power to Jim. Just don't listen to him. It's ridiculous. Me when Smud called Jim fat and a monster. Well, if you're drinking a drink that's called Monster and you're that size and you look like, I don't know what the hell costume
It's
he's in.
zero sugar.
Really? There's no sugar in Monster
It's
drinks?
the white. There are some that have sugar. The white one doesn't have sugar. It is sugar free and has this weird, horrible crap in it that makes you fat.
Okay, but no sugar. That's weird. You're transphobic, Harry, and then this is purple. What is it, fourth phase? What is that? Is the purple hair the fourth super? I can't remember what is. How many stages there are. Oh boy, the transphobic tweets. Here we go. Is this it? Okay. If sex
I think I remember these, yeah.
if sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex is
True.
real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. That's totally fine. I don't see anything hateful.
Completely correct. Yeah.
She's using logic to explain reality, which is fair. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e. to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is a nonsense. Okay? I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. She hasn't said anything hateful in any of these.
Exactly.
The only
But
thing
as
you
can
could
see,
point to is that she specified the male violence thing. Like that's the only thing you could pick out of this.
yeah, that's
Everything else is
that's a feminist thing. That's
that's the
for-
feminist
I
thing.
don't.
But everything else was
leave
true.
that. But the thing is, and here you see what the transphobic part is for the trans activists. It is the acknowledgement of biological sex of men and women. The trans activists are not about gender dysphoria. They are about erasing biological reality. It's not about transition for them, but about transcendence of sex.
Okay, so here is... I don't know what the hell is going on here. Trannies are boycotting the game. Gryffindor is suddenly the least popular house. So what? What does that have to do with anything? I don't get it.
I need a Potter weep to explain this to me.
Yeah, I assume this is like some in joke or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Is it
I don't
because
know
the
So
what-
movies-
Slytherin is the evil house. Why is everyone playing the evil guy?
Oh, so everyone is playing the evil house now because of this? Like, is that what it's trying to say?
But
I don't know.
isn't that like because the movie had the bad guys in the Slithering house that were against Harry Potter and Harry Potter was Gryffindor? Therefore,
Oh, I get it. The Gryffindor simps. Okay, you're saying that the Gryffindor simps are tranny.
Yeah, but that Gryffindor is less like than Hufflepuff. That is just weird.
The sex offenders are more popular than Gryffindor.
Oh man.
all right. Why do you not play Hogwarts Legacy? J.K. Rowling is transphobic. Magic is satanic. Harry Potter fucking sucks.
You can check.
Fair. There's lots of reasons not to play a game, guys. They're not all the same.
How did Ultra Chad sneak into the...
It's like, this sucks, guys. Stop this shit. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I've read this before.
I still can't get over how they allow you to cast Crucio and Avada Kedavra, which is the whole point of Prisoner of Azkaban, is you use illegal spells, you're out. But if you're 18 and enter a middle school of Hogwarts, you can cast whatever spell you want, buddy.
All right. Harry Potter and the Chamber is loaded. Okay. Someone took a screen cap with a comment. My favorite thing about Stephanie coming out is how much happier they are. Even with all of this bullshit they're dealing with, it seems so clear that Steph is a happier human being.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
it's
have
very
to
clear
refer to
from the
Jim in
image.
plural.
I don't know.
Look how happy he is. Look at that.
I don't.
Yeah.
So happy.
I don't know.
Since these are psychotic eyes. I'm sorry.
I hope they're happier. The attitude seems the same.
Look! The way Jim did the lips is like with a fake smile in the corner. That's how you do clown makeup.
Oh,
Because Jim's actual corners of his mouth, they are drooping down.
so
But he put on this fake smile to look cute with the makeup. It looks like clown makeup. It's real actual clown makeup. It's just so horrible.
So I think here we have Harry and his buddy on a train, and
Don't tell me you don't understand this meme.
I sort of get it, but I'm a little unclear on what the symbol represents.
That's the SS symbol.
It is the SS? Okay, I thought so. All right.
That's, two Zig runes next to each other is the SS symbol.
All right.
Yep.
If Harry Potter...
You do know what the yellow star is, do you?
Sorry, what now?
But you do know what the yellow star means.
Oh yeah, I'm not completely ignorant.
Okay.
Right
making
before
sure.
I was a bit confused with the train, with the what's happening in the background. I was like, is this like related?
we're going to a summer camp.
Smart.
Yes.
Smart. You're wondering what's with the black and white camp in the background
Well,
where
there's a-
people are being executed by people in
They're
uniforms?
going-
Well, there's
they're going
someone.
Let's
Well, Harry
go
Potter has an SS symbol on his forehead, and Ron has a Jewish Auschwitz star on his.
Harry Potter and the Workers of
Smart.
Azkaban.
Okay, Canadian education is worse than German.
Oh, Christ.
I probably
shit.
would agree with that if I actually looked at it. It's probably true. Yeah. No, we were not taught anything in history. It's really bad.
Long as we don't have to pull up the Albert McFry workers book.
So they
guess it's-
swapped the faces, or what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay. No, you can't buy that game. J.K. Rowling is a bigot. And who?
Who?
That's probably true. There's probably a bunch of people that don't even know who she is.
Oh, geez. No, Severus. Trans wizards are just as good as cisgender ones. Look how fast they learned levitation. Jesus.
Severus Snape is about to make a lot of calls.
Here. Oh, this was funny. I love this part.
I love this. This is great.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Yeah, because they started adding like every pretty much tag you could add.
Every horrible tag.
Capitalism, villain, protagonist, genocide symbol.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is completely explainable. What happened? That before the movies, that Hogwarts was a super diverse place, and they just realized this doesn't work.
I was
Just
about
wait
to
it
make
out
the
until they all
joke.
kill themselves, and
Yeah,
then we'll
I was
do
about to make the joke that this tag is actually accurate because all the diversity in the game is gone in the movies.
Oh. Well, here's our friend Patrick Willems. This is a franchise about Earth Jedi intended for autistic people. and butterbeer or whatever.
I never expected this regressing hairline, buddy, to pull up a sign and have it spell out this is a franchise about Earth Jedi intended for autistic people. Oh, perfect.
This is what I'd imagine the Devil Smud to look like.
Okay.
Am I gigantic? Am I hovering over a city? What's happening there?
Yes.
Okay. Some movie I'd never seen before. Oh boy, what's this? What happened to him? He find out Hogwarts Legacy is successful and getting good reviews despite the boycott.
That's
Oh.
supposed to be Big Red.
Oh. Oh, really?
Feminist.
Buys Hogwarts Legacy. I'm in danger. Yeah. And when the Asian Harry Potter is smarter than Hermione. Okay. Har har. Oh, don't do that. That's not nice. That's not nice, guys.
That frame is a very, very dangerous look.
So
Be
here's,
glad the glasses hide it somewhat.
instead of playing Cyberpunk, I started taking estrogen. What? Is that a quote?
Apparently, that's
my God,
from
it
a
looks
video
like
he
it.
made.
Jesus. Now that's fucking punk. Dude, that is the
I mean,
dumbest.
his face does look weird in this photo.
Well,
But this might actually be a real thing he did.
This looks like something from a skit from like I don't know a black comedy from the 80s. Instead of playing Cyberpunk, I started taking estrogen.
I don't want to think about it. But if you want to ruin your body, if you want to do all these weird shit and make fun of a video game, I guess that's a show on YouTube you can do and watch. I don't know. It seems a bit dramatic. Hogwarts Legacy introduces Sirona Ryan, the Harry Potter series' first trans character. Devs, I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top. Yeah, devs don't give a shit. They're like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Oh yeah, that was his argument, is that even if you buy the game to support the devs to include that character, you're supporting the evil corporation that's preying on children.
Really?
Which is what I had a long-ass rant about when he went, oh no, you're supporting the industry that is firing people, that's spying and making out lots of money so they can increase the revenue, or at least how it looks on the growth stat.
Copper Owl says that the big demon thing is Mephistopheles from Faust.
Oh, that was Faust, really? Wow, holy jeez.
Must be an old movie with really good special effects.
I've never seen it. I know it was made into a movie, but I never actually saw the original.
I have only seen weird movie adaptations that was too artistic in the wrong way.
So here's Flanders and his son talking about Harry Potter, and everyone is going straight to hell because they're witches.
Yay!
Lights throws in the fire. Oh, no, another one. When Fiona looks more appealing than this guy, you are not incorrect.
Oh, God.
Oh, very much.
Unironically, Fiona in ogre form looks cute.
Yeah.
She doesn't look attractive, she's cute. Jim is neither attractive nor cute. In fact, he's an abomination.
Okay, the J.C. Green. It is going to be so funny watching Sue Storm have to pretend to be pants frothingly horny for this literal wet blanket in Avengers 7? I don't know why. I'm not following Marvel films. I couldn't tell you what's going on. What does this mean?
I'm lost. That was the guy they made into an Aztec or something.
Get in my belly.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. So in the new Black Panther movie, they got this guy who he's an actor that doesn't have much of a presence, unlike the evil Black Panther from the last movie, who did come back from the dead just for a little bit in the movie, which was like the best part of the movie. And the big theory right now is that since they ended in a ceasefire, he's going to come back and they're going to pair him up with one of the main heroes. They have a love triangle or something like that with him.
All right, guys. Well, that was what we could tolerate from Jim. It was almost worthless, but I was hoping for actual understanding of the game and the controversy. I think there might have been some of it in there, in the like more than halfway through, but I'm not sitting through all that crap just to get to it. And yeah, no, it was just what we expected, sadly. So
I really hope that he had something to say.
Well,
like a fucking year to prepare for something, and all you brought was what recent tweets had come out on Twitter.
Yeah, I thought he was going to mention the game at least a few times, but he didn't mention it at all. So
am I the only one who didn't expect more than what we got?
Maybe we gave him too much credit.
Absolutely,
maybe I should give him none.
Credit. I thought he was
from now on, I just give him no credit. That seems to be the better choice.
Finally, you arrive at my position.
I thought at least he was gonna bring up the fact that the entire game is based on the goblins having a war. How ridiculous that is.
The only time he brought up the goblins was with the anti-Semitism at the end.
Exactly.
That's the only argument he made.
I'm so amazed that he's so retarded. He didn't even go for the easy one. That's the fact that the goblins who are always treated as, well, they're bankers, because you can't really be threatened by them. They're very tiny. They don't really have any way to harm you. They don't have guns. They can't cast magic. Like, the most threatening guy you get is like 4'8". Like, that's the most, like, the height of a child. It's like the most threatening goblin in the game. Yet they're having a goblin war against the wizard. I thought he'd be going into that. Nah, didn't even do that.
Well,
Spent a year just sitting on that.
I think that's enough Jim Sterling for the next few months, hopefully. And
Years.
well, he might have a good take. It's hard to say when he has good takes. But
When was the last time?
he was funny like 5 years ago, wasn't he? He had some moments. Hopefully. I don't recall, is what I'm trying to say.
That's just the rose-tinted glasses of youth.
Before he became weird and a clown. Anyway, I hope he does well. I hope he's feeling better and losing weight and all that good stuff. So thanks, guys. That was a very different video for us to cover. I don't like these nonsensical videos where it goes on for 20 minutes. But hopefully there was some gaming and we didn't get much. So hopefully we'll get better ones. I don't know. It's up to you guys. We'll cover whatever.
Tyler Preston, one last thing. We didn't expect logic and the reason. We expected him to tear into something related to the game. He didn't tear into anything related to the game.
Yeah,
the closest we got was guilt by association.
Yeah, there's literally no legacy of hatred or disliking people or persecuting them. There's nothing. There's nothing that J.K. Rowling did or the game did or the developers did or the marketing did or anything did to harm anyone. So there is no concern. There's no violence. No one's being harmed. No one's being sued. There is literally no problem. So
stop having expectations of such people and you will not be disappointed.
Fair enough. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Keep the suggestions coming. Keep the voting going. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.